drugs for all different reasons. People use drugs to forget about things. People use drugs to get a buzz, to get a high. People use drugs because they've had things happen to them when they was a child. People use drugs because they've been brought up and they don't know any different.
For years, the rolling valleys and sprawling towns of South Wales have hidden a pervasive underground drug scene. High levels of injecting mean thousands of users experience a serious wound or injury every year.
Overdose is the one that catches all the headlines, but there are so many problems associated with injecting drug use.
According to the NHS, places like Swansea have seen a recent spike in bloodborne viruses, infections, abscesses, and even amputations.
We're talking about life-threatening conditions. You can lose limbs, you can lose your life.
Over 6 months, I met a series of individuals who invited me to film their lives and see the devastating consequences of what happens when injecting drugs goes wrong.
January this year, they amputated my leg.
At the age of 12, my mother gave me some heroin to sell, and I ended up using it myself, and I became an addict at the age of 12. I love my mother to bits, you know. I just perhaps went the wrong path with the drugs and everything, you know. I grew up in some care homes sometimes. I'd end up running away from those just to get back home. Oh. The first ever time I had in a needle, it didn't do nothing. The second time I done it, and I done a little tiny bit more, I was on my knees. I was literally on my knees. I thought I was gonna die. What dogs are, mate? Boxers, eh? Boxer. What?
American Bulldog.
American Bulldog. Lovely dog, innit? I've had 3 drug overdoses and nearly lost my life a few times. I had been in intensive care for 28 or 29 days. I had a big abscess on one lung, and I had more than 5 and less than 10 on my other lung. So I was close to death. But I was performing to leave the hospital because I'd run out of drugs and I wanted to go and get more drugs. I know a friend of mine who's lost his leg for injecting down below. I know people who's come close to losing their legs, as myself. I missed a vein in my groin. It was the biggest vein in your body and the easiest one to go in, but little did I know the damage it could cause. They cut a large part of my leg away and ended up stitching it back together. And just show it a small part of it. Right to the underneath of my leg. So it goes 3/4 the way round. The doctor had said I had nearly lost my leg. He was come that close to taking my leg off. Lower parts of my legs scarring. So I advise anyone at home looking at this just to not use heroin because this is what it does.
Michael only narrowly avoided amputation as a result of his drug use. The longer he continues to inject, the more at risk he is of these types of severe, life-altering consequences.
My name is Brandon Miles, and I was born in Swansea in 1969. Grew up on these hills, catching horses, playing in the dirt and eating worms. I was an intravenous unit of heroin, methamphetamine, and EP ethylphenidate for a period of 14 years. every single day, several times a day. Here I am. Oh, look, look at a mess. Oh, my toe, my leg, my right leg, my hernia, my cochlea, my nose, my teeth. That's what I'm in a mess. It's all to do with just taking drugs, I think.
Brandon recently had his right leg amputated due to injuries caused by years of injecting drugs. At 47, he's found himself newly disabled, adapting to life as an amputee. He was on his way to pawn his laptop after his disability benefit had run out for the week.
I need about 60, 70 pounds for the laptop to cover the cost of living for the next few days. It goes on bills, it goes on food, domestic products, takeaways, taxis. If I need any painkillers, I'm demoralised, I suppose. Yeah, cheers man, see you again, yeah? Thanks a lot, bye. Okay, I'll see you shortly then.
Despite having spent money on a cab to get there, the pawn shop wouldn't take Brandon's laptop, meaning he was out of money for the rest of the week.
It's ridiculous. It's like I'm in a trip. It's so surreal. It's just like, what the fuck? Oh, I don't want sympathy or empathy. I want a fucking leg. I want it to grow back.
Later that day, Brandon talked me through how injecting had led to his leg being amputated.
I missed a vein, and I think I blew a capillary because I used a superfine needle.
Brandon showed me pictures of the abscess that he'd taken during his stay in the hospital.
I was like that for 2 years. It got bigger and bigger. That's the 31st of the 12th, 2015.
After 2 years of fighting infection, doctors amputated Brandon's right leg below the knee.
I didn't set out with the intent, of doing this. This is, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things I can't do. I can't just go run up to the shop. And that's depressing. It's made my life 100 times harder.
Just injecting it and trying to anyway. This is the trouble I gotta go through. All the fucking time. Yes. I'm just pushing it out. I might work for that, man. Takes all fucking day otherwise. Sorry about that. For the people out there watching this, don't fucking touch heroin. It's, just to find a vein in my body. I don't know the reason why human beings hurt themselves, but yeah, I wish I had the answer, because perhaps I wouldn't do it anymore,
Since losing his leg, Brandon has had to adapt to life as a disabled person. For the past few months, his friend Ed has been coming round to help him with day-to-day chores, such as cooking, cleaning and doing the shopping.
Ben?
Yeah.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee, please.
Whilst Ed helps out when he can, Brandon has recently asked if he would consider becoming his full-time carer.
You can claim carer's allowance, and I'm allowed to claim severe disability payments or scheme or whatever it is, I don't know.
So you'd be Brandon's official carer?
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it for a while, but we'll see how it pans out now. It all depends on, if Brandon is serious about committing to this and doesn't, go off on
100%
a mad scheme for a week and disappears or goes
no.
to his house.
No.
Because I know it does get, after a few months, it does get like,
On top of losing one leg, it became apparent that the ulcer on Brandon's remaining leg was refusing to heal. This meant he was facing the real possibility of becoming a double amputee. Brandon was now relying on Ed to take him to and from medical appointments to have his wound cleaned and redressed.
Unfortunate pain.
So the infection's getting worse than the tongue?
Yeah. See, that's my leg. Underneath this area, this dressing, is an ulcer roughly the size of the dressing. Can you see the discoloration of the skin? That is what they're going to soak off. I can't take that off.
So if you take that off, it rips off the skin?
Yeah.
In pain?
Yeah, of course. I'm filming at the minute, yeah? Bye.
How often do you have to go to get this washed?
3 times a week.
Does it hurt when they do it?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
After speaking with Ed, it became apparent that Brandon was resorting to more than just prescription drugs to deal with his pain.
None of the medication they're giving him is having a time to work because he can't stop smoking drugs. So his body's basically just going around in circles. He's discharged himself from hospital, I think, 8 times. He was even smoking crack in the hospital at some point.
Does that get better? Oh, God, I'm dead.
Well, luckily you're not a horse, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
If I do all this and it tends to be in vain, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say, Brandon, I've tried. It's up to you, mate. Just walk away from it. Bad enough losing one leg, but 2, for your own stupidity.
In Swansea, for injecting is terrible. It's all squats where people just go in, inject, and just chuck their syringes on the floor, and it's really bad for people injecting in Swansea. Real bad.
As you can see how dark it is when you're in the daytime. So you can imagine in the night you can't even see your hand in front of your face. The barricades is all this up. So we can't get to the electrics and put it back on. I went in prison for 9 months. I come out and I've been living here 7 weeks now. Smelly stuff.
What's the smell?
Urine. Just full of pee and stuff like that in it. I'm on a methadone program because I ended up going on heroin, which is really bad around Swansea at the moment. The first time I done heroin was to end my life, and it didn't work. It's all sharps and that all on the stairs and that, baby. See, this room's in a really bad mess. See, it's all full of cuckers, pins, all the needles. I'm not a dirty user, I don't need my needles about, I guess.
Although the squat Jono was living in was filled with used needles and dirty injecting equipment, he managed to clear out a room for himself to sleep in.
Yeah, this is my room where I stay. As you can see, it's not a needle inside a floating mattress here. So my back and that done it. I know it's not ideal, but out on the streets anything can happen to. In here at least it's a bit safer. I know, and I can close this door here. I know, and I feel a lot safer in myself.
Injecting in squats like the one Jono was staying in comes with a much higher risk of infection. It turned out Jono had only recently had a very close call himself.
So I got a little hole in my neck. It's healing now because I've been taking antibiotics and that for it. But I think I've done nerve damage or something in it because I can't feel the side of my neck properly. So the last 4 weeks has drawn enough for me to realise now that enough is enough, you know. It's pretty serious, you know, as you can see the hole in my neck, you know. The doctor said I was very lucky. I'm a very lucky lad, he said. I'm in the hospital right now, and
I had an abscess. They started eating away at my leg. I got left straight to the hospital because I knew he was going to open up.
It'd have just burst. They just took one away. Full of gunk.
It feels like as if someone's pouring a boiling hot kettle of water over your leg. It was a mess. It went outside the vein. It was really painful. As you can see, it's healed up now. But I've known people to walk around for weeks with their leg out massive, all red raw all the way down, and it's just like a balloon.
The rise in injecting wounds and abscesses like Michael's has become a serious concern across South Wales. In Newport, needle exchange coordinator Mike Mallet has decided to take things into his own hands.
A third of all injecting drug users will suffer some kind of wound, abscess, open ulcer at some point per year.
In March 2016, Mike opened a specialised wound clinic to treat injecting drug users.
This is a mess, this is in my leg. Because I'm on the streets, I can't look after it as well as I like to. Clean it and all that. Not looking too good, but it's looking a lot better than what it was.
That black skin is what we call necrotic, okay? And that's basically what we want to take out. So what the dressings do that I'm going to put on help to break that down and liquefy it, and draws it off. So don't worry if it looks a bit wet or it gets a bit smelly. That's what the dressings are designed to do. So this is just sterile water, just so I can wash it. People in these situations can become very, very isolated very quickly. There is that stigma attached to being a drug user, and that's often what restricts the drive to go and seek help, because they're worried about how they're going to be perceived, how they're going to be met.
If you hadn't been able to come here, what would you have done? Do you know what? It would have been, I would have left it get really bad and probably got rushed into hospital with septicemia or something, because like I said, I got no access to any doctor or any medical help. So it's only the hospital, and I don't really like going there. I'd say 95% of doctors are very anti-drug, and you know, they say, oh, it's self-inflicted.
The vast majority of injecting drug users are highly stigmatised by health professionals who perhaps are less than sympathetic and treat those individuals differently. If you know you are not going to be treated well, you are less likely to come forward for help.
To explain just how bad the problem had got, Mike decided to show me pictures of some of the most serious wounds he'd treated in the past few months.
When she came in to see me, she didn't have a bandage or anything, so when she presented here, she actually had a tea towel covering that wound, because that's all she had in the house. It is like battlefield dressing sometimes. If you're injecting 4 10-pound bags of heroin a day and you're still feeling that pain, my God, what would it be like without the heroin? There is that potential for much greater damage than we currently see because of that inability or reluctance or difficulty in accessing treatment. And however relatively minor, if it doesn't get any kind of intervention, it's going to get worse.
It was clear from speaking to Mike's patients, the wound clinic was the only place many felt they could go and be treated fairly.
If it weren't for places like this, I know there's half a dozen men are walking around town that'd be in chairs with no legs. You don't get judged. You can talk to people about it, but you ain't gonna find it anywhere else like this.
For Mike, early intervention wasn't just about helping people in pain. There was also, potentially, a serious knock-on effect for the NHS.
There's a human cost and there's a financial cost. More drugs, different types of medications, possibly even surgery, hospital admissions. Eventually, it costs everyone. You know, wounds can develop into septicemia, into sepsis. You can lose limbs, you can lose your life.
Although Mike's clinic offers hope for younger users seeking treatment in the future, back in Swansea, Brandon had already lost one limb and was in danger of losing another. When I caught up with him, he was desperately searching for alternative treatments in a bid to save his remaining leg.
Yeah, I did lose my right leg in the end. And it's my left leg that's sore and what have you, and I don't want to lose my left leg.
After weeks of waiting, Brandon finally managed to book a session with a local charity who offer hyperbaric oxygen therapy.
Hi Brandon.
Hello. Hi.
You're going to be in here for an hour and a half, so if you need to use the loo, better go now.
Brandon was hoping the hyperbaric treatment would help to heal his abscess and save his remaining leg.
It's available for a multitude of things. In Brandon's case, we're looking for wound healing. It heals from the inside out. It gives your chest a good workout too. Because it's what they call a demand valve.
The charity offering the therapy was run on donations and set up for people who suffer from multiple sclerosis. I wanted to ask Christine, who ran the centre, why she decided to give Brandon a much sought after seat in the oxygen chamber.
So people with MS are prioritised. After that, it's basically life-threatening. I had no idea that, it was through drug use. Not that would make any difference. Everybody needs care, regardless of how it happens, Why did he choose to go down that road? Was it peer pressure? How young was he? Was it desperation? Was it despondency? Was it depression? Is it making me feel better? Initially, probably it was. Just because you've made that bad choice doesn't mean to say you're a bad person.
My whole life fell apart when my ex-missus ran off with my kids and denied me access to my children. My business fell apart, everything, the home fell apart. Well, I fell apart.
You obviously had this sort of breakup of your family when you were 32. Have you ever really recovered from that?
No.
Do you consider...
Well, look at me. I mean, losing my sight, lost my right leg, lost my left leg almost, virtually, or soon, or hopefully not.
How did you come back from it?
I don't know, maybe I'm just lost. I don't know, there's no way back. There's no breadcrumbs for me to follow, And, I don't know what to do. Oh God, it snapped.
What snapped?
The pipe.
You snapped the crack pipe?
I have, yeah.
How have you managed that?
I don't know. Oh, bloody hell. Just want to tape it back together. Ed, can you bring some tape over quickly, because I've just snapped the crack pipe. The crack pipe. The crack pipe, I've snapped it in half. You have something, please, quickly, before they notice. Oh, we're good. All right. Okay, see you shortly.
The crack pipe Brandon had broken belonged to someone else in the house, and he was keen to fix it before they found out. Surely they'll notice when you tape it back together.
Hopefully.
But they'll notice the sellotape on it.
So I want done, Ed. Ed, can you quickly do this?
Not again.
Can you see what you're doing?
Yeah, I can see what's happened over there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like you've done that before, Ed.
Yeah, I have a few times.
For Michael, Brandon and Jono, there were familiar issues of coping with pain and trauma, whether it was a battle with addiction, loss of a limb, or the cutting isolation of homelessness, being kept away from your family.
My dad has my kids because, I'm on drugs and that.
Do you think when your kids grow up they would understand?
I hope they would, couldn't cut it.
Everyone's not going to rule my life anymore, you know? I know perhaps I'm doing it now, but I'm going to cut myself down slowly till it's just me and my script, and that's it. Sometimes it brings me close to tears. I know the damage I've done to myself. I don't want to lose my leg. I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
Since I've lost my leg, obviously my confidence has gone. Depression's set in. You know, I've had suicidal thoughts and all sorts of things. And it's not me and it's not what I want, it's too negative. I hope it doesn't prevent me from doing the things that I dream of.
I gotta be strong for myself and my kids. I don't want to show my face because I don't want to put my family through shame and that. They think I go home to a lovely house like they go home to. I don't really. I come back to this, which is heartbreaking, you know.
You or I enjoy family, friends, loved ones. When we're down, they'll buck us up. A lot of injecting drug users don't have that. The more isolated they become, the more vulnerable they become.
Drug users require specialist services where they are. We need to have a rethink.
Don't judge people on that, you know. This could happen to anyone.
If I'm trying not to use and I end up using, I really beat myself up. But I gotta realise it's just one little step at a time. It feels like sometimes that I need drugs to survive. And that's a scary thought.
I went out on Friday night for my birthday. I had a buddy cans of bud as well, so that cheered me up. And I can't really remember much. It was quite a quiet night.
Happy birthday, birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Edward. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, bloody hell. We're gonna blow them out now, right?
You wish, you got,
No, thank you, Ed, right? Put that one.
Thanks, man. You're welcome.
I appreciate that, right?
I know.
It's a good man, honestly.
Would anyone like some cake?
Ed Walker, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
I just love a girlfriend. I'd love a car. I'd love to be able to drive. I'd love my legs. I'd love new legs. Can you give me new legs?
See why we stay here?
This is God's country?
It's all God's country, isn't it?
Huh? Sorry, I was falling asleep there. Sorry.